My name is Jeffrey Tang. I'm one of the panel counselors and teachers here. I graduated back in 2020 from UC Berkeley with a degree in history. Today we're going to be talking about some of the changes for the digital SAT and what you can expect. So to begin with, we're going to be talking about the format of the digital SAT. The test will now be administered through the Blue Book application, which you can either use through a test center provided device, or you can bring your personal laptop as well. It will consist of 2 reading-writing modules, which are 27 questions, 32 minutes each, followed by a 10-minute break. Then you will have the 2 modules, which are 20 questions and 35 minutes each. The second module for reading, writing, and math are going to be adaptive, which means that depending on how you do on the first module's read perspective section, you can expect the difficulty of the second module to change. Another function of the Blue Book application, you can also use annotations to highlight specific keywords you want to keep track of in the questions and the paragraphs themselves. Regarding the changes for the digital SAT with respect to the old SAT, for reading and writing, the sections are now combined, so they're no longer separate. You're going to see new question types such as rehaul of the evidence and inference questions, as well as additional rhetorical synthesis questions on the grammar section. In addition, there will be more literature content such as short stories, novels, plays, and poems that will be used for adaptive material. The optional essay is now removed, and you will no longer see long individual passages for the reading and writing. Previously, you would see maybe between 1 to 10 questions for one long passage. Now each question will correspond to its unique prompt individual paragraph. With respect to the math section, calculator is now allowed on both modules. Students can choose to either use the inbuilt Blue Book calculator, or they can still bring their own physical calculator and scratch paper. Multiple choice and free response questions are now going to be mixed in with each other rather than having the free response questions at the end of the module. Another small change is that negative values can now be input for the free response questions. Now let's take a look at 2 sample questions. So for the first one, let's read through the prompt first. In recommending Balfi's collection Song I Sing, a librarian noted that pieces by the spoken word poet don't lose their blank nature when printed. The language has the same pleasant musical quality on the page as it does when performed by V. Which choice best completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase? So if we see a question with this type of format, we can expect this to be a vocab and context question. What this means is that the generic definition of the vocab word that we're looking for is probably not going to be the correct choice. In this scenario here, however, if there's a blank, then we want to think about what word we would use here. So for step 1, we want to look for context clues, some synonyms, rewordings, definitions, or even examples of the word we're looking for. Step 2, let's think about what kind of answer we would fit in here to fill in the blank, as well as some possible synonyms for the word. So we see that there is a colon, which means there's probably some elaboration or example of the word that we're looking for. So if we read through that part again, the language has the same pleasant musical quality on the page as it does when performed by Phi. Let's look through the choices. A, scholarly. There's nothing about academic related information here at all, right? We're talking about the musical quality. B, melodic. Probably a good fit. So let's keep this for now. C, jarring. Jarring means a sound that is very shocking, very abrupt. So this probably does not correspond to the idea of pleasant. And D, personal. Again, we're looking for something about the quality, not about Balfi himself. So, using process of elimination, B, melodic would probably be the correct choice here. Let's look at the next prompt. Ghost of the Old Year is an early 1900s poem by James Weldon Johnson. In the poem, the speaker describes experiencing an ongoing cycle of anticipation followed by regretful reflection. This is a qualitative evidence in the literature subset, one of the new types of questions you see on digital SAT. The question asks us, which quotation from Ghost of the Old Year most effectively illustrates the claim? For these types of questions, the title and author of the literary work is generally unimportant. However, the second sentence, the one beginning with in the poem, is very crucial because we need to analyze this sentence to understand the objective. For step 1, let's identify some keywords within this claim sentence. So we see the ongoing cycle of anticipation. If we want to reword that, a cycle means something repeated, something that is the same, some kind of action or feelings that is the same year by year, or whatever the cycle is. The next part, regretful reflection, regretful sadness, looking back and feeling sadness, right? So let's look through the choices. And as we read through them, try to identify any quotations that has any terms that resemble the keywords or related to them in any kind of way. For A, what does the brazen tongue declare that falling on the midnight air brings to my heart a sense of care akin to fright? This one discusses something about anxiety or fear, because we see the word fright here. Clearly this is wrong because we do not have any information in the sentence where we need to claim that something is causing the speaker to feel scared of something. In B, the snow has ceased its fluttering flight, the wind sunk to a whisper light, an ominous stillness fills the night, a pause, a hush. In the secondary part, we do see something about anticipation, the ominous stillness, and a pause. However, the choice we want to have needs to have the anticipation in the first part of the answer choice, rather than the second part. In addition, this choice does not contain any quotation that gives us some kind of regret. In C, it tells us many a squandered day of slighted gems and treasured clay, of precious stores now laid away, of fields unreaped. In the first part, squandered day, this gives us some sense of regret. Same as B, however, the regret here is in the first part. We need to have this regret in the second part. And we also do not have any kind of quotations that talk about anticipation. Let's look at D. And so the years go swiftly by, each coming brings ambitions high. So we see the term each. This resembles the idea of a cycle. And if it's bringing ambition, that means it's bringing some kind of anticipation, some kind of expectations, right? So the first part of this answer choice seems to fulfill our claim so far. We just need to make sure that the second part also works. So if we look at the last two lines, it says, and each departing leaves a side linked to the past, right? So having a side and looking on the past, this gives us some kind of sadness as they're reflecting, which is what we want to prove. So therefore, B has to be the correct answer here.